A lot of encouraging news today in the housing market. Freddie Mac rolls out their bank statement program. Let's check it out. That article and several other articles, including 4 consecutive days of interest rates falling. Yes, my name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in real estate, housing, and the mortgage markets. Now, before we jump into this, hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel here. And then do me a favor, hit that like button. I'm going to give you the best 5 minutes in real estate and mortgage on a daily basis. No holds barred. This is going to be it. Let's go jump right into it. All right. So Freddie Mac, I'm really impressed. I mean, after 30 or 40 years of having the same guidelines over and over, and there's been a couple of offshoots here and there, Freddie Mac came out and said, hey, how about bank statement programs? Wow, that's kind of revolutionary. Now, it's been on the sidelines now for a while. Some companies are doing it, but let's go ahead and read into this. It says, Freddie Mac rules make it easier to buy a house in 2022. It says, Freddie Mac wants a level playing field for home buyers. Freddie Mac is again expanding the financial data for mortgage lenders and can utilize when evaluating potential buyers. Starting in November, borrowers can use up to 12 months of checking savings and or investment account savings to prove positive cash flow and improve the chances of qualification. Guys, this is fantastic. Now, as more and more of us are not sitting at a job 9 to 5 on a daily manner, a lot of us are out there and we're 1099s or we're our own bosses and we're just stuck because we can't use government loans. Now it looks like if we can prove that we have positive cash flow on a month-to-month basis for 12 consecutive months, we'll have a shot at getting a loan now. A loan that's a government-backed loan. I'm really excited about this. I really think that this is kind of a game changer. I understand that it's probably going to take some process here. It's going to take a little time for them to mold and shape it the way we need it to be very effective. But at first, at least it's the first baby step into many more. So again, it's really cool. If you guys want to check it out, check out the links down below. We're going to have the link directly into this web page and you can actually read it yourself. But I kind of like what it has to say. I mean, I kind of read through this article and it looks like on November 6th, we're going to see things kind of change, at least for the better, and at least it's baby steps. Next article, CNBC. Now you can't get a positive article out of CNBC. Let's just be honest. It says, pending home sales plunged 31% versus a year ago amid rising mortgage rates. Guys, we know that a year ago it was so much better. Why? Because inflation was going rapid, but the Fed wasn't raising rates. They were just saying it's transitory and it was all going to just poof, go away in our lives. Instead, it was here. If the Fed would have pivoted at least 18 months ago, we would have a very soft landing and we would have a very robust economy. Instead, we just let it roll, printed money, and then this is what continues to happen on big media sites. Negative news over and over and over again. So it gets in the mindset of buyers and sellers out there and it really hurts the market. Now, am I trying to hush people from really looking at the truth? Absolutely not. But to continue to compare somebody who is now working out every single day to someone that didn't a year ago doesn't make sense. What are we looking at here? We are looking at a true market that, yes, values are going down, but they're going down slowly, and we're still double digits up from last year. So anyone who bought a house 12 months ago, even though this negativity is all over the place, you're up double digits on an average across the United States. Over this week, I went over to the counties here in Southern California, and we saw a double digit is anywhere between 10 and 16% up from a year ago. So please, let's kind of look at the numbers in a way that makes more sense and not in a way to make people go to the website and say, oh my God, the world is crashing and I'm stressing out. No, I want to look at month-to-month sales. and inventory from the year before to now. We don't see any inventory on any of these sites. Inventory is down from last year. Well, if they're down from last year, well, home sales are going to be down from last year as well. Doesn't make any sense to keep all the negativity out there. That's just my personal opinion. I'll show you the numbers all day. Go take a look at us the last 4 days and Real Estate Daily, and you could see the numbers here in Los Angeles, San Bernardino, Riverside, and Orange County. Now, what's really going to affect this going forward will be next week, November 1st or 2nd. The Fed is meeting, and there is, at least last week, it looked like the Fed was going to raise rates 75 basis points. In fact, it was almost 100% as I saw it out there. But today, people are kind of cracking a little bit. They're saying there's a lot of pressure coming from the White House and right before elections, and what we're going to see is something different than which should happen. So let's read this. Powell again is facing political pressure as worries mount over the economy. Right now, if you look at the things that people are looking to vote on, there's several different issues, but one of the biggest issues that people in polls have said is the economy. And so with such a poor job that he's done in the last 18 months, and that interest rates are flying up, but more importantly, really misspoke. Janet Yellen, as well as the president, really misspoke about inflation a year ago, which has caused enormous, problems in our daily lives. It's caused so much money coming out of our pocket for the same thing that we spent on 12 months ago. We're going to find out real fast here if Powell, who's pulling Powell's strings. Is he pulling his strings by himself? Is he the one that's saying what's on his mind and what he wants to do? Or is it the White House doing it? Now, let's be honest. He was there before Biden actually came into presidency. But when he had a chance over a year ago to make a decision whether he wanted to replace Powell, he didn't. He kept him in. So now this is his appointment. It's not that anybody else's appointment at this point. So all I know is that one Fed chairman has already said a little bit about maybe we need to slow down, but everybody else has said the same thing. We need to have 2% inflation. We're over 8% right now. There's a long way to go and a long fight here. So with the job market is hot, people spending money, yet cost of goods are going out of control. I don't know if the Fed has any choice to go 75 basis points unless, again, it's political pressure, which we'll know right away who's pulling the purse strings at the Fed. Last article here, which I began, this is pretty cool. I kind of like that we're seeing interest rates continue to fall. Now, at one point, interest rates were approaching 7.2%. Now they're at 6.95%. And this is this week alone, we've seen this drop. So the 30-year conventional is fallen 6 basis points again today. 30-year FHA fell 4 basis points, excuse me. So we're just seeing this go down. And I think that there's a lot of hopium on the market that the Fed is going to say some dovish comments, at least Powell will say dovish comments on November 2nd, which will be Wednesday. I think that it literally might be the last big hurrah for the stock market and the crypto market. If he does say something, I think we're going to see a surge in it right before we look at elections. And then all of a sudden, I think the next 90 days are going to be absolute hell. Why do I say that? Well, several reasons. One is our strategic oil reserves will have dried up at that point, and now we're buying from, out of country, the Saudis. The Saudis today, I think it said Russia has now accepted into the BRICS nation, the Saudis. They've been wanting to get into the BRICS nations. And if they do, it's going to really hurt the dollar significantly, because then oil will be traded with other currency other than the dollar. That's the only reason why we're on hyperinflation like Turkey or other countries that have 20, 30, 40%. The only reason why is because countries use the dollar to purchase goods and oil. If they were unable to do that, we are going in hyperinflation. If they decide to use a different currency, a different world currency, because the Fed have printed so much money in the last, 24 months, 36 months, They printed so much money. They've gluttoned the market with money, and that has really hurt, inflation for us here at home. But it's also made certain countries pivot away from the dollar because there's no control by those countries. This week, Egypt said that they were looking into CBDCs, that is central bank digital currencies, or some other form of payment to purchase oil. I know that, we've already known that the BRICS nations, which is BRICS, B, Brazil, R, Russia, I, India, C, China, I've already decided that they're not going to use the dollars anymore to receive, to buy and trade with, especially with oil. And so we have to be very cautious that in the next few years, if we don't see this trend stop, then it's going to be bad here at home, here with inflation, and there's nothing the Fed can do unless they just start putting money into oblivion again, and that only just is going to take this market into a whole nother tailspin. Well, guys, thank you very much for listening in. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Hit that like button. It really helps us out. We've been growing and we're continuing to grow. And I'm going to give you the best 5 minutes. Whether you agree, you disagree, I don't care. Leave it in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. Otherwise, guys, you have a fantastic day and have a good weekend.